They
on
was
social
on there
media.
wilding like she's a 3 and she's not pretty enough to have this standard. And yeah, it was a lot. Like I'm getting called plus size. I'm getting called like all for saying that I just didn't want to be treated badly. Hi. I've been on here one time before, and I love your channel. And I needed some advice, so I was like, let me come on here and see if you would give me some advice. Do not show, and
That's great, a dating show.
right, but the show was the pop the balloon show, right?
Okay.
So the selection of men, yeah, I had glasses on before, but the selection of men that they had, they weren't really too bad, but I felt like I had a really strong personality. I think that it really maybe was off-putting to the men. I wanted to get some advice on how to date with a strong personality. I feel like that's kind of what has held me back. I don't necessarily think that I'm super masculine or anything like that, but I do feel like sometimes I can come off a little bit much. 28.
28. And what do you do?
I'm a licensed nail technician.
And what do you look for in a man?
I like tall men, intelligent men, like men who have ambition, who like to travel. I'm looking for a best friend.
What do you like to do for fun?
I like to travel, so I like going to the islands. I'm from Jamaica, so I like to go back home. I like to go back home often. That was one of my main feedback that I got. Like I came off very strong.
I think one of the things, and I think this goes for everyone, like sometimes it's your personality or how you show up or your energy. I think it's about reading the room sometimes. What is the energy of the space? That's how I want you to think about it. Not that you don't need to be yourself, but maybe, okay, I don't want to say a little less. I hate to say it like that, but I want to read the room. If everyone is not on 100 and everyone's on about a 65, 70, then I'm still going to be me, but on a 65, 70. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And especially if you're doing pop the balloon, were you holding the balloon or were the guys in a line and you were going,
So
right?
I was told that I would be holding the balloon. But when I got there, they told me I would be walking out. So when I got there, it was like a little switcheroo. When I came out there, I was like, oh my God, like they lied to me. But it was like I'm still here. I'm gonna make the best of the experience. And I came out. I tried to get them to engage in some questioning, and I tried to challenge them a little bit on their thinking. It just, I don't know. I think I handled myself pretty well. But I mean, I think with that type of show, it just isn't really set up to like for women to find their matches. But I did take some of the comments and the feedback, and I was like, you know what? Okay, what can I do to kind of like maybe not come off as strong? I think I did articulate myself well, but I feel like maybe some of the men were intimidated. You know what I'm saying?
I'm assuming when you came out, Alexis, like I didn't see the episode, but when you came out, you were like, okay, hello everyone, cool, cool, cool. Where did it go left in the clip? I need you to be transparent. What was the viral moment?
The
Let's
viral moment, oh my gosh, I had said I didn't want to be a ride or die. I explained that in my term, what that meant to me was a negative connotation. Like every woman should have a line. Once you pass that line, I felt like there was no need to continue the relationship. The men took it as, oh, you're not going to stay with me through rough times. And it was like, I don't know how y'all got that. I was talking about not being a Rashida and Kirk. You know what I'm saying? I was talking about something different, and they took it as that.
My name is Preston. I'm 29. I ended up popping the balloon because ride or die doesn't mean if you don't have bad times, you don't have potential. Ride or die means that if it goes to hit the fan, you got me. You're going to ride until the wheels fall off because marriage is about a covenant. Saying that you're not a ride or die, that means you just go on. If I don't have it, you go to the next person that got it. So
well, that's a shame. I was really interested in you. Again, personally, of course, we're not at marriage level yet. That's completely something different. I don't plan on leaving anybody just because they're falling on hard times. But again, as a woman, I have to secure myself and my future. So it is important that the person that I'm with is able to self-start and be self-sufficient, looking for leadership qualities. So that's why.
What's ride or die to you? What's ride or die?
Ride or die always has a negative connotation to me. I feel like it's some Bonnie and Clyde thing. And I want to be able to be in a position where if my man is doing something wrong, I could be like, yo, this is self-destructive. He can listen to that and respect me for it. So that's why I personally connect ride or die to a negative connotation. So I think I had a really bad angle, right? Because I think they set it up for it to go viral, right? So I think I had a pretty bad angle, and a lot of the men were upset at what I said, but that was I think where the balloons got popped. They were like, oh yeah, we want a girl that's gonna hold us down to the worst of the worst. And I'm almost 30. I was talking about consistently falling on bad times. What did you expect me to do? I'm not your mom. So that was where I got a lot of the backlash from, and I feel like I was a little misunderstood. So I'm being misunderstood because I didn't clarify myself. So I don't know if I didn't explain myself correctly. So I just was like, what, let me ask you, because I know you didn't see it yet, but I was like, maybe I did.
You're saying the men in the comments were saying you should ride or die for a man till the wheels fall off. When he's not doing well, if he falls on financial troubles type of thing is what they were saying. And you're saying you're not signing up. Again, that's what you prefer. You're not signing up to hold a man down through thick and thin. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not necessarily through thick and thin. It was consistently bad, maybe bad behavior, or consistently negative experiences. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all human, right? Like, I'm not perfect. I don't expect every day to be sunshine and rainbows or anything like that. But I was talking about someone being a self-starter, someone being ambitious. I didn't even bring up anything financial because I know how the internet gets. I'm not going to stay with someone that's a cheater. You know what I'm saying?
That's
And
what I was
so I
gonna
think
say.
because I stood firm on those kind of boundaries, it came off like, oh, she just, and that that wasn't my intention.
So it sounds like you're not a ride or die for a cheater. That's what it sounds like you're saying to me. Like, you're not gonna be out in the street dogging me out, coming home.
Yeah,
I don't know
no
who you're
Rashida
thinking
Kirk
of when
type
you do.
love. Like, I just want something regular, something normal. So a lot of the men were bringing up them falling on their hard times. And I was like, okay, like, that don't got nothing to do with me. I'm not saying like if we were entering into a relationship and then something bad goes awry, like I'm just going to be out. But I was saying consistently, already articulated myself. I'm not sure how much more I need to do.
The internet with shows and lives and things like that, like, people are gonna take what they want and run with it, is what I learned just from doing social media. But I'm
Yeah.
sure when you're in it, it's overwhelming. Like, the comments, the
Yes.
DMs, people try to break you
Yes.
down, talk about how you look, what you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Like, it was very respectful for the men. I think one guy was trying to be funny with me and I got hilarious. Very respectful. I was receptive to what they had to say. I saw one of the men after the shows, I'm saying, he paid for me to get into the club. He, we were, talking and stuff like that, but he just didn't pursue it any further. And I didn't want to be the one to say, you should ask me for my number. But yeah, that was one of the things that I've learned, because a lot of people were like, sign up for Ready to Love, Love is Blind. So I was like, well, let me do something on a smaller scale to see if I can handle it. And I think I got some really good feedback. There were some people that were like, oh, she's not pretty enough to have this standard. And it's just like, okay, I may not be everybody's type, but I feel like it's okay to have standards. And yeah, it was a lot. Like, I'm getting called plus size. I'm getting called like all for saying that I just didn't want to be treated badly. Like, that's crazy,
That's the internet. I mean, they'll be like, but one lash is lower than the other lash. I mean, they find everything, But one curl is longer than the other curl. They will find everything to pick apart to try to humble you. That's
Yeah.
what they do here on the internet.
Yeah, it was just something different. I had gotten off the dating apps. I had signed up. They like come to the show and see what could happen. I feel like I held my ground. Like, some of them were just really young, like 24, and I couldn't entertain that. But yeah, I felt like some of the guys, when I said that, I was just like, I'm not sure what else, I've articulated myself. I did say like, hey, if you're not, I'm not saying like you just got to be this. I didn't say anything about financials or anything like that. I was just saying that the person needs to be a self-starter. And I feel like as a Black woman, especially since I was one of the darker skinned women on the show, there was two of us, but it was a lot of vitriol for having a standard. I was like, okay, y'all, like, I came up here, I put myself out there, I put myself out here right now, what I'm saying? Like, I'm constantly trying new things, trying different things. And for having a standard, it came off like, oh, she thinks she's all that. I'm asking the questions. Like, one guy was saying, oh, he popped his balloon on me because I didn't know my role. I should just know my role. And for me, I was a little confused because I'm like, well, everybody thinks differently. What is my role? Yes, you're the man and you're supposed to be the leader, but I don't believe just because you're born a male, you're a leader. What are the specifics? So again, we couldn't get into everything. It was a very interesting experience.
And I think what makes it more interesting, like what makes it even more heavy, those type of things, is that once it gets posted online, like, granted, y'all do the experience, y'all go y'all separate ways, whatever. But once it hits the internet, you have to relive it for like 2 weeks, a week, people like just, firing off at you. So I think that's
Yeah.
what it is.
Absolutely. There was one guy, I don't even want to give it too much, like, because we had already got into it, but I thought that he was trying to be funny. Like when I went up to him, he had popped his balloon and he was like, "Is your name Erica?" And I was like, "No, my name's Alexis." I was like, "Do I look like Erica?" Like, I'm confused. He was like, "Oh yeah, if I didn't remember your name, I must not be interested in you." And I was like, the host was confused. I was confused. Everybody looking like, and then he said it again. And then I was like, okay, well, like, I don't like people who don't like me. So I was like, I don't date men with jewelry on their teeth. You know what I'm saying? That's not something I do. Yeah, because he tried to eat me up. Yeah.
Ooh,
And
child.
then he tried to eat me up. And then when he got on live and TikTok, again, he kept just slicing it up, like trying to be funny. And then he was like, "Oh no, I really did. I was trying to say you weren't memorable." And I was like, "You're saying I wasn't memorable, but I was the most talked about girl there, whether they liked me or not," which I did receive a lot of positive comments. You're telling me that you could have talked about my weight or my color. You were trying to be nice to me. And it was just like, no, when they asked you why you weren't interested in me, you didn't have anything of value to say. You said you thought my name was Erica.
I forgot. Is your name Erica?
Alexis.
See,
Do I look like an
can't.
Erica?
You do.
Oh, okay.
I can't be that interested because I forgot your name. So
Oh, okay.
when she was walking, I was like, "That's Erica," but it's Alexis.
It's Alexis.
I apologize. Yeah, that's why I apologize. I can't remember her name, so I can't be that interested.
Okay, so you're not interested in what
Yeah,
you've been hearing.
If I remember her name, though, that's not. So
I understand.
I thought I heard Erica.
The
but you
feeling
said-
is mutual. I really don't date men with jewelry on their teeth. That's
Okay.
usually something that we do, but I get it. I understand, your
Absolutely.
preference.
And you thought because like it, and you know what I'm saying. So he was like, "Well, you took it offensively," and I felt like I was being gaslighted. So I didn't want to give that too much energy, but he thought he was gonna give it to me, and I gave it right back to him, and then that made me look. I was like, "Man, look, I'm here fighting for my life."
And you have to understand, people want the clout too. Like they're trying to build their following. So he's just gonna keep feeding and feeding until it all dies down,
Yeah.
But this is good because it's gonna build your muscle when you go on to Ready to Love.
I'm trying to do different things because I do live in Atlanta and it is very hard to date out here. Very hard. And so that's what made me try to do something different and see if it worked or whatever. So I wanted to try just different things. I'm young. I ain't got no kids. Like, why not just do something fun? And people were like, "You need to be in therapy." And I'm like, I'm already in therapy. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they talked about Jesus, what made me think that they're not going to talk about me. So I was already prepared going in like, okay, this is kind of what the show is all about, but kind of being in Atlanta, it is very hard. Like if you're in Atlanta, if you want to find a good time, get a hookah, a drink, lay up with somebody, you can find it. If you're looking for something serious or something a little bit deeper, it is very, very hard. And they weren't all bad. They were just like, "No, I'm asking you questions. Like, why do you feel like a woman needs to be with you at your lowest? Why do you not feel insufficient as a man to get yourself back up?" I'm saying women should just dip out at the easiest thing. I'm saying there's a lot of men that are consistently doing bad things or terrible things, and I'm not gonna go for it just to say that I have the man. You know what I'm saying? So
You can't get a lot of dialogue in for that because it has to be a quick clip, a quick moment. So you're just doing like, one-off answers. You guys can't really deep dive sort of thing. But if I could give you anything, Alexis, it was like, I want to say to you, like, try to give yourself some peace. Like, try not to let it bother you, my love. Please, try not, please. I could feel it. I know what that
they
is 'cause I've been
they
on
was
social
on there
media.
wilding like she's a 3, and I'm like, listen, I pulled up one guy. I was like, pull your baddest out, and you're telling me I'm a 3, and this is and I didn't even want to go there because I'm not even that type of person. Like, I was very respectful on that show. Like, I could have went in, you know what I'm saying? But I didn't go in like that. I went in very respectful, and really I was nervous. So I'm going like this with my hair because I'm like, so nervous. Like, and then when the guy said my name was Erica, I was like, so now you're trying to use a moment to try to use a moment on me to go viral. And on his page, he posted those clips. He didn't post the clips with him matching with someone. You're posting the clips with me, and then turn around and said I wasn't memorable. And then when we were there, it was no smoke. And then now it's all over. And then he's keep like, you should come back on my live and let's talk about it. And it's just like, it happened like weeks ago. We didn't match. You know what I'm saying? You said I wasn't your type, whether it was my color, my, weight, whatever. So why do you want to keep going back and forth with me? I think he was looking for clout, and he thought, I had to eat him up gracefully, but that's not even the type of thing that I was going in for. Like after people were reacting, they were like, yeah, bro, I wanted to say this about her and I wanted to say that about her, but I was being nice. And it was just like, what could you have said about this particular girl or that particular girl? So it was, yes, I'm trying to find some peace. I'm trying not to go back and forth with people, but it's just like, who are you talking to?
Don't be up late in the bed reading them comments, refreshing. What they say now. No, you have to let it go. But again, I know it takes time. As someone who's on social media, like after a while you grow a muscle. You already know what people are gonna say, the same old. But I do understand this is your first probably like introduction to this.
Yes.
So if you're going on Ready to Love or any other show, this is a great first step.
Okay.
Because
okay, yeah. TikTok was on my side. A lot of the women resonated with me, and they showed a lot of love and support, and a lot of women showed like telling me their stories in my DM, and it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? And Instagram with the Dusties, and their baby mamas. But it was great to have a lot of women come in and show support for me, and really building me up and saying, hey, like, I have a strong personality too, don't take it to heart, like, we're gonna find someone that loves that. And I did talk to another guy dating coach, and he told me that really sometimes you have to lean into the strong personality. I used to kind of not dummy it down, but I used to really just wasn't really fully being myself on these dates, because I was like, they may think this girl trying to be funny or something like that. So now I'm trying to embrace my personality without just being overbearing. I'm still working on trying to find the happy medium, the balance between who I am and then also trying to appease a man, because their egos are pretty fragile, so it was good. I'm glad I did it. I went in there with an open mind, and I'm hopeful moving forward that there's some better candidates, but it's rough out here.
listen, we talk about it every day here on this app, and I see women of all background, all ethnicities, all race, all colors, all sizes saying the same thing. Where are the men? Where are they, Ashley? I'm leveling up. I'm working on myself. I'm in therapy. I'm softer. I'm stronger. I'm this. I'm that. And still,
I'm doing the work, Ashley. I am doing the work. I've been in therapy. Like, I've set boundaries. I saw you talking to the young lady before me. And like you said, every woman has been there before. I had a guy that on paper, everything. He made the money, everything, but he just, But the kicker, which was the most important thing, is that they have to like you, And I felt like he liked me, but not enough to truly commit and build up that intimacy. It was like everything but like a carrying Mr. Big. And I was like, I'm way too young and he's way too old for me to be fawning over this man like that, and I didn't want to.
So, hold on, you guys. He was everything on paper, made money, did well for himself. You guys dated, but what do you mean? Like it never went past go, is what you're saying? Like intimately.
True. I think, and I'll hold myself accountable. At that time, I did become just a little bit insecure because I was intimidated. Like, this is a man that made $150,000 a year. He had intelligent conversations, great car, great house, everything. And so I do feel like I self-sabotaged a little bit and I was never able to like kind of course correct with him. And eventually it turned into me having a scarcity mindset, thinking like, damn, it's Atlanta and I'm not gonna find nobody else like him. And so it became to me chasing. And then after going into therapy and doing the work, my therapist really put it simply. She was like, you're trying to be the perfect peach on the tree and he don't like peaches. He may like apples. And so that's what changed my mindset. Like, oh, okay, sometimes, he just does not like you. Sometimes it's just that simple. We try to read into it, but he does this, that, and the third, and it's just like it's still not enough. You know what I'm saying? You need that commitment. So I teetered the line in my early 20s, and now that I'm in my later 20s and I'm doing the work and I know who I am, I know exactly what I want. And I don't want to settle, not say settle for less, because you know people aren't perfect, but I'm not asking for what I more than what I have. I got a place to stay. I live by myself. Clearly, I have a car. It's not the brand newest. It's a Hyundai 2019. I have a job. I'm a licensed nail tech. You know what I'm saying? I make pretty good money. I'm not asking for no CEO. It would be great, but I'm asking for someone to match that. And some of the men, oh my gosh, some of the men out here, Jesus, it's like they have one, but not the other two. They have two, but not the other one. They are dating like 10 different women at the same time, which is like, that's their right. They're single, but it starts to become a thing where you're not even being courted. So, you know, but
And I
anyway,
would say Atlanta is that kind of place. I'm just saying Atlanta's that type of place from what I've heard. Like, and I hear a lot of girls say they'll meet a man with money in Atlanta, but he may not be single. He may be married. Some men, not all, are down low. Like that's the common theme or thread I hear from Atlanta. That you can meet a man with money, but it's one of those three things when you do meet a man in Atlanta. Sounds like you did meet someone, the guy who had it going on. But again, you said you self-sabotage. So maybe started to chase him and
yeah.
forget, like, okay, he's older. I'm the part. Okay, come. Yeah, he'll be here. He'll be calling. He'll be texting.
I don't want to take up too much of your life. They tired of me already. So I'm gonna let you go. But thank you so much for the advice. And you know, I'll still be here watching. So thank you. Thank you.
Yes, and come back and keep us updated on how things go when the rain, the fire goes out. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
You're welcome, darling. Bye bye. Know how that is. Like, let me say this. I have grown a really strong tolerance to comments and like backlash here on social media because I have been doing it for so long. So after a while, certain things don't really bother you. When you're new, when you're new and you just start this kind of social media thing, it can be overwhelming. You'll be up late. You'll be up late in your head thinking about all of the things. So it's important to know who you are, before you get on these platforms.